Good Tuesday morning, everybody, and welcome to Barney's Fantasy World of Sports. It's great to be with you this morning, and I'm actually traveling today. I'm near Raleigh and had some work to do, so I will probably not have a long show today, but, I was talking to Lenny yesterday, and what excitement we could be having right now, even in the midst of a national tragedy. We could still have some excitement talking about baseball. Instead, we hear yesterday that the owners now have presented this plan, 76 games. The season will conclude by September 27. The playoffs will be over by the end of October. There will be 8 playoff teams in each league. The players will get paid 75% pro rata, and there'll be some sharing of the postseason kitty. All right. The Players Association has already leaked out through Twitter. Don't you love Twitter? I mean, you can't do anything nowadays without somebody on Twitter knowing about it. Within 5 minutes of something happening, you're going to know about it. Social media does that. And the social media now is that the players are going to reject the most recent proposal. The owners want to know something by tomorrow. Draft day is tomorrow. I was thinking about all of this negotiating and how slow it seems to take. I suggested a couple weeks ago that the parties submit to binding arbitration, and whatever the arbiter decided, that would be the way to go. Another solution is do this. Put the players and the owners, whoever makes the decision, put them in the same room, close the door, and say, you can't leave until we work something out. That would do it. You can't leave for any reason. Bathroom, food, no reason. You got to stay in here. And when we get an agreement ironed out, then you're free to go. It could make friends out of enemies. But there is no deal. We have a draft tomorrow, a 5-round draft. And for what? Okay, this is bigger than 2020, guys. Next year, at the end of 2021, the collective bargaining agreement, as we currently have it, it ends. And the owners and players have to come together and reach a new collective bargaining agreement. We can't even reach an agreement on a season during a national tragedy. I looked at numbers yesterday. Okay. I'll ask 2 questions. How many of you know someone directly affected with the COVID virus? And I mean by that, diagnosed and sick with the virus. Secondly, how many of you know someone directly involved in losing their job? Unemployment over 20%. Over 20% nationwide. So we've got over 100,000. It's an incredible number. People dying of COVID. People now diagnosed with COVID. Numbers are spiking. They're predicting, doctors who know a lot more than I do about the COVID virus, predicting a resurgence, a second round of this in the winter or fall. You've got states like mine where rules are being relaxed. You've got people who are gathering together for whatever purpose, good or bad, and really close to each other. There's no 6-foot rule in a lot of things I'm watching on television. I'm just fearful that people are going to get sick. The virus is still going to be affecting us into the fall. The health concern is not even the number one question amongst players and owners. It's all about the green. And That is just not what baseball needs to be doing. Now, I know we've talked about this ad nauseum. I don't want to do it again. But it's time that the fan perspective, you got the owner's perspective, you got the player's perspective, but who, when it comes down to it, pays the bill? Who pays the bill? The fans, whether it be through ticket sales, through concession sales, through advertising, which is directed to fans, television rights. It all comes back to fans participating in that particular environment. So, what if fans decide, and this would take a real gutsy thing amongst all fans, we just decide, you know what? You don't want to play this year. Guess what? We don't want to watch you next year. What would that do? I think until, right now, I think what's taken for granted here, over and over and over are the fans. No matter what we do as owners, no matter what we do as players, the fans will come back. I read about and I remember the mid-90s when the strike came and there was no World Series in 1994. And it took a few years for baseball to recover. But through the McGwire, Sosa, Griffey, Bonds, 98 through forward seasons, the Yankee dynasty, fans were excited and they forgave and came back. It took a few years. It took some incredible feats, if you will. Remember, McGwire and Bonds hitting 70-plus homers. It took something that had never happened before, which now, as we look back, could be tainted, maybe. But it took those incredible events for baseball to get through the recovery. And it took a few years to do it. And that was not a pandemic. That was not in a situation where the nation was suffering. That was in a situation where players, owners couldn't agree on certain things. The strike took place. Now, you've got a circumstance where, look, owners can't help it. Look, players can't help it. Look, fans can't help it. And I can sit here and talk about how owners and players should suck it up and get on the field. They're not doing it. They're not doing it. And I think they're taking the fan base for granted. That we're going to be there no matter what they do, whether they play or don't play, whether it's 48 games or 80 games. And frankly, if we have a season this year, I'm going to watch. I'm going to love it. I don't care if it's 50 games or 80 games or 110 games. Right now, I'm ready for some baseball. Right now, even though it's taken a long time, things can still be salvaged. The owners and players can salvage it this week if they wanted to. But I think the reality is, okay, look at your calendar. It's June 9, 2020. Here's where I think we go. I think by June 20, 11 days from now, which will be a week and a half on June 20, we're going to know where we are. We're going to know if we're going to have a season or not. We're going to know when it's going to start, when it's going to end or not. We're going to know all of the details by June 20. I think if we don't know it by June 20, and I'm getting close to the first day officially of summer, if we don't know it by then, we're not going to know it. Meaning, I don't think it's going to be a season. I don't think you can then say, okay, we're going to come to spring training in mid-July, because if there's not an agreement on June 20, there's still no spring training. There's still no games. There's still no schedule. Look, we still don't have a schedule because we don't know how many games we're going to play. We have, in my opinion, don't you love that? My opinion. We've made no progress in the last 2 weeks at all. They're no closer today to beginning a season than they were 2 weeks ago. I'm thinking about going on strike. I'm thinking about, having an hour of just nothing, which is kind of where we are. I mean, we're talking about the same thing, reporting what's going on, and it's nothing. Nothing's going on. Nothing's getting done. So let's talk about something else a little bit. Another player who doesn't want to play in another sport. I'm reading this morning. If you're a football fan, here we go. If you're a football fan, then you're familiar with Dalvin Cook. Minnesota Viking turned into a superstar running back last season. And if you're like me who had him on your bench, yes, I did. And then you put him in your lineup. Yes, I did. You were very happy. And now Dalvin Cook is saying, I don't want to play. I'm not going to practice. I'm not going to report. I'm not going to do any of those things until the Vikings give me more money. He signed a contract out of college, a 4-year deal, $13 million. Not a lot of cash. I get it. But he signed a contract. I don't understand. I really don't understand this. This blows my mind. How you can expect to sign a contract and then decide, hey, I'm into the contract and I now don't want to do it. Ludicrous. Ludicrous. What if the Vikings decided, I don't want to play, pay him? I think I'll just stop. If they were paying him $50 million over 4 years and they decided, hey, that's too much, I don't want to pay him, I'll just stop. It's the opposite. I'm not getting paid enough, so I just stop. It's absolutely blows my mind. I mean, then sign a 1-year contract. Everybody, let's go to 1-year contracts. Sign your contract. After your 1 year, sign another one. Those become performance-enhanced based contracts. I like those. And then a player can make whatever the ownership or teams decide they should make. Free agency becomes incredible. And players make the money they want. But no, they don't want that. They want long-term contracts every year. Dalvin Cook, where is he on your fantasy board? Surely he's in the top 10. Probably in the top 5 if you're in redraft leagues. Where does he fall among running backs? I got him behind Zeke. Okay. I got him behind McCaffrey. Okay. I got him behind the New York Giant. Great. So I got him 4th among running backs. Barkley. I got McCaffrey 1, Barkley 2, Zeke 3. Probably I'm going to move Zeke to 2. Okay, I got to drop Barkley. I really was disappointed with Barkley last year with the Giants. So I'm going to go, let's do that. McCaffrey 1, Zeke 2, particularly now with the wide receivers. I like the way Dallas has got some balance. I'm not a Cowboy fan, but I love their balance, and I think it's going to create less defenders in the block and give Zeke more opportunity to be fed. But I've got Dalvin Cook 4 behind Barkley for the Giants, and now what does that do if he doesn't play? I know when Zeke Elliott set out a couple years ago, I kept thinking he's going to come back. And it just didn't happen. Well, excuse me, Le'Veon Bell. Remember, Le'Veon Bell set out, I want more money with the Steelers. Not Zeke Elliott, excuse me. Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell set out the whole year. And if you were a Le'Veon Bell owner, yes, I was in one league, you were crushed because you couldn't cut him because you kept thinking he's going to play. Never signed a contract. That could happen with Dalvin Cook. And if it does, then Madison becomes so much a gotta-have fantasy handcuff. You didn't know you're getting fantasy football from me this morning, but you are. There you go. So, as this Dalvin Cook story unfolds, it'll be interesting to see how Madison is viewed in fantasy. And the precedent here for picking up Madison is the same precedent we have with Le'Veon Bell a few years ago.